is what I'm going to. Thanks so much for recording it. So I'm going to just talk about something called 21 Days to Detonation, which Paula Pritchard taught our team in our previous company. And at the end, guys, if any of you have any questions, feel free to ask, be it in the chat or unmuting yourself. But yeah, 21 Days to Detonation is based around the premise that if somebody joins your team, right, you have 21 days to get them results to keep them in your business. If you don't get them some type of a result within 21 days, what happens more than likely is they will leave your business, right? So you'll actually end up having somebody that signs up, you go through all the effort to get them into your business. And then what happens is 21 days later, you just expect them maybe to have some results, and you find out that they're not on smart delivery, they're not on, what we call, in some companies you call it auto ship, etc. Your monthly minimum order, and those people fall out of your business. So 50% of the work is getting somebody to join your team, but really the other 50% is actually getting them their first win, right? And 21 days to detonation is basically something Paula Pritchard figured out. And she said, if you can get a person, right, a win, then that adds essentially time to the 21 days, right? Approximately 10 days for an enrollment, for example. So what she would say is, when you introduce somebody to the business, of course they knew. They don't know anything about the company yet, not much other than maybe what they've seen to make the decision to join LifeWave, right? But they really, really knew. So I always say your knowledge is high as a sponsor, but when you're enrolled, your knowledge is low, but your enthusiasm is high. So somebody who's just joined, they're high on enthusiasm but low on knowledge. So what I say to them is, don't worry, we can leverage my knowledge. You as the sponsor say to the new person, let's leverage my knowledge while you learn, and that way you can earn while you learn. And it's a really, really powerful way to get somebody excited about the business, is to let them know just because you're still learning doesn't mean you can't earn. You can earn immediately by simply putting people in front of me while you're busy learning what you need to learn to get going with this business. So I always say in the first 10 days, try do 2 presentations for your new person, right? So you can write that down. Within the first 10 days, schedule 2 presentations specifically for that new person, be it a home meeting if you want to launch their business to their network at their home, or if you want to do it on Zoom, that's fine. But set up a time with that person, and ideally set up 2 times that they commit to within the first 10 days that they are going to put some people in front of you for you to speak to for them on their behalf, basically, right? And what that'll do is it'll give you a good shot at helping them enroll their first person in the first 10 days. Because if you can help somebody get an enrollment within the first sort of 2 weeks that they join the business, what it's going to do is it's going to add 10 days to that 21 days. So in other words, instead of 21 days, it goes to 31 days. Does that make sense? And if you think about it, Paula said it's 21 days to detonation. So for every day that you're not enrolling or they not enrolling someone into their business, that 21-day countdown timer is getting less and less and less. So a typical example is if you enroll someone into your team and you didn't assist them at all, and in 21 days that person, the timer would detonate and you would find that that person would quit the business, right? So you've got 21 days from the moment somebody joins your team to help them get success. Now obviously many of you are self-starters. It's not the normal case. So many of you have already maybe been in network marketing, or you're, so to speak, in the 10% of people that would go out there and make things happen on your own. You wouldn't really rely on your sponsor. I'm also one of those people. I'm self-motivated. I'm a self-starter. But the reality is, guys, is 9 out of 10 people are not self-starters. 9 out of 10 people need their hand held, and they need assistance and help to get over the line and get their first person into the business. So just remember that for every person you enroll, you can add 10 days of lifespan to that person being in your business. And that's how you can pretty much gauge how effectively you're working with a specific person, right? And you can even keep an Excel spreadsheet if you want. And the moment you enroll somebody, set it that it's automatically on 21 days. And after a week, go back and see if that person is down to 15 days. You know, it's really important that you reach out to that person, because in 15 days, if they don't get an enrollment, statistically speaking, the time is going to detonate and you're going to lose that person. So make a list of the people that you currently have in your business and see how long they've been in your business. If they're still in your business after 21 days and they haven't got a single enrollment, I would be surprised. But if they still are, count yourself lucky and reach out to those people and see if you can schedule some type of a launch for them in the next 10 days. Try to do 2 meetings within the first 10 days of introducing anyone to your team, right? The reason you want to do it as soon as possible is when people join, they are the most excited the moment they join. With each day that passes, their enthusiasm and their excitement diminishes a little bit and a little bit and a little bit more. So the sooner you can get them to take action and to put some people in front of you, be it in front of you on a Zoom call or in a live meeting or in a coffee meeting, whatever it is, do that as soon as you can, because the moment you get them results and you get them an enrollment, that's really when you've actually enrolled them, if that makes sense. So getting them enrolled into the business by choosing a package and getting them to, swipe their credit card and commit is only half of the job. You really have only actually enrolled them once they have enrolled somebody else. Something else that's really important to notice, guys, or note, is if you enroll someone on a package and they have not enrolled someone else, they are actually still legally a customer. They're not a brand partner in your business. So they could still technically actually, if they wanted to, join somebody else's business. But by getting them to enroll someone into their team, then that really cements them to being also legally bound to you in terms of the LifeWave terms and conditions, to being cemented in your team. So you want to ensure that when you enroll someone, you really make it a goal and a priority to help them to get their first enrollment within 10 days, right? Ideally. And if any of you have struggled to enroll people yourselves, then what I would recommend doing is going to the person upline from you who's a successful enroller and asking them if they could assist you to do a Zoom meeting or a whatever type of meeting for your new person to get them their first enrollment. So I hope that makes sense. So that's called 21 days to detonation. Paula figured that out. And what Paula is really known for as well is the numbers, is the fact that she understood statistics and she understood numbers. And she always taught us that network marketing is a numbers game, right? And the 21 days is a really, really good time frame to know when you introduce somebody how long they're going to last in this business, from the day that they sign up and they pay to the day that they most likely will quit if they don't get an enrollment. She works out is about 21 days. So it's about 3 weeks, guys. I think it's going to be different in LifeWave. Reason being, we have such an exceptional product. So people that are using X39 are getting such amazing results, and many of them are getting amazing results in as little as 10 days or even less. So many of these people will probably hang around for a lot longer than 21 days, at least as customers. But if you're going to intend to build a business, right? If your goal is to build a business, then you want to try help them to get an enrollment within the first 10 days. If you do that, then it is very, very likely that they'll probably get a second, third, fourth enrollment and eventually start enrolling people on their own. But that first enrollment is usually the most difficult and the biggest challenge for somebody who's just joined the business, right? And if you can help them get over that hurdle and get their first enrollment, from there, often it's not long before they are on their way and they gain some momentum, and before you know it, you've got a business, right? And you've got somebody who's working towards manager, director, etc. So that is a very, very powerful thing to also teach your new people. 21 days to detonation. When somebody new joins the business, obviously I always try to get them to go through this is a team training and the getting started training. There's also GoPro CDs, which I love to get my new people on the moment they enroll, which are free on Spotify. For those of you who have not listened to the GoPro CDs, I really, really recommend it. They are my favorite training still in the network marketing industry to this day. And then I also let them know when you enroll your first person, if you can, let's do a meeting with that person and somebody that they have in their team within the next, ideally even 24 to 48 hours, guys. But I would say try set up 2 meetings within the first 10 days. That's a really, really good barometer. It gives them time, but it's also not too long that, they lose motivation or they're uninspired. But it also gives them enough time to work maybe around their schedule if they have a job or they have kids or whatever. Everyone's got, something going on. So 10 days, 2 meetings in 10 days, it's only 1 meeting every 5 days on average, right? And if you can help them launch their business that way, get them their first person, it buys you another 10 days of time. So if you wait 2 weeks, 14 minus 21, you're down to, what's that, 7 days, you're down to 1 week of time left. You've only got 7 days. The moment you help them enroll someone, you're back to 17 days. If you help them enroll somebody else, you're up to 27 days. Now you've got some time to play with. Do you see what I mean? And that's exactly how Paula worked it out in terms of just tracking the numbers and seeing how long people stayed in her business when they quit and what their behavior was like. So keep a tracker if you can in Excel. When you enroll someone, put in the date that they enrolled and put a little column there in terms of what is the date 21 days from now. That is like the D-Day, the day of detonation, the day that person has to have a person enrolled in their business by. If they don't, that it's pretty probable statistically that person, unfortunately, was somebody that you've enrolled, you've put all that time and effort into sponsoring, but they're probably going to quit the business, right? So use the 21 days to detonation to your advantage, because now you understand the numbers. You understand that you've got exactly 3 weeks from the moment someone joins to making the decision whether or not they're going to continue with this or not, right? And add those 10 days and track it in your Excel spreadsheets, and you'll have a very good idea of the lifespan and what's going on in your organization with regards to how people are doing. And you guys can also track this in your back office. So I don't know if you know, but if you go into your LifeWave back office and you actually go look through the different tabs, you can see the binary tree and the genealogy. You can actually have a look exactly where people are in your genealogy, and you can see who's doing what. And you might be able to locate someone that is actually recruiting successfully that you don't even know, that's been referred maybe by someone that you've sponsored. And that person could be your next director or senior director or SPD if you reached out to them and helped them, right? But the person that sponsored them might be somebody who's inexperienced and just happened to sponsor a unicorn, somebody who's got huge potential, but that person doesn't know who you are unless you reach down and say, hey, nice to meet you. For example, Alanja, and I know you don't know me. Your sponsor sponsored you. They're new to the industry, but I've been watching you build the business. I'd love to see how I can assist you. Sorry, guys, just coughing. So make sure you're looking in your genealogy and just know how to track your business as well, guys. Just gonna have a sip of water here, guys. Sorry. Okay, I'm alive. Guys, coughing there. Okay, cool. Let me just check if there's any questions. Okay, I'm gonna open up my microphone here for questions. If anyone has any questions about the 21 days to detonation that I've just trained on, feel free to ask, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory, right? And it's very simple, but often the most simple things are, in my opinion, the most powerful. So if Paul is teaching that, I think it's something important. She's made over $50 million in her career in network marketing. So that's something that she did teach us and reminded us of pretty regularly. So 21 days to detonation is definitely something I would make a note of and teach to your new people, guys, because some people do think, oh, let me enroll someone, and they think that the moment that person's paid and bought their gold pack or their silver pack, that their job is complete, and it's happy days. Now I'm going to become a millionaire. Doesn't work like that.
Oliver?
Yes. Is that Nikki?
Hi. Yes, hi.
Hey.
I love what you're saying. I love what you're saying. The way I do want to remark where I think LifeWave is different is because we are really pioneering a very new technology. So it takes,
Yes.
the way people often will let me try it for a month and then I'm going to see and then I'm going to enroll. But I think the same concept lies, like make a note, check in a month's time, see how they're rolling, and then make that your start of your 21 days. If you have a client, if you have sponsored somebody with that. But I think that is a general thing that it's quite common for us at the moment. And I think it is creating despondency in a sense. But then we've all just got to remember pioneering is one of the most valuable jobs, and all those people are going to bounce back our way. Over
Yeah, we
now.
yeah, we 100%, Nikki, and we're so blessed because of the fact, like you said, we have such a unique technology. So it makes it a little easier, but it doesn't mean we shouldn't still apply it and, really put our focus on helping somebody new get that first enrollment in the first 10 days. If you can do that, guys, it'll make a huge difference. I also remember Kathy once showed us um, some statistics. So from 2 years of tracking their business, they found that 90% of people that had an enrollment were still on smart delivery 2 years later. Okay. But they found the exact opposite 2 years later for people that didn't have an enrollment. So basically, that shows you how important it is to help someone get an enrollment. So what I mean there is 90% of people that dropped out of the business that weren't using the product anymore had not enrolled a person. But the people that had enrolled even just one person, 90% of them were still in the business 2 years later and on smart delivery every month. And now that begs the question, why is that? I can tell you why. Are you more likely, think about this from a psychological perspective, are you more likely, let's just say you were sponsored in LifeWave yesterday, right? In 10 days from now, 20 days from now, you haven't got anyone in your team and you have the thought to yourself, oh, you know what? I don't really feel like I want to do this anymore. If you have no one that you've sponsored in the business, quite easy to quit, right? But think about it this way. If you have now gone and put your word on the company, on the product, told somebody else about it, and that person's trusted you and gone and invested in this because of something that you said, and taken your word and gone and joined the business. Now you've got somebody in your business. Are you as likely to quit? Yes or no? It's not, because you have someone that you're accountable for. You have somebody that's now also potentially going to be building you a business. You've got someone in your team that makes it far more difficult for you to quit the business. Does that make sense, everyone? Okay, I'm just
Yeah, it
checking.
definitely does. Yeah.
So I can't overemphasize, guys, how important it is to really just make sure the moment someone joins, even if they don't know anything about the industry, don't worry. Say to them, make a list of 20, 30 people or however many you can. And all I want you to do, give them a basic script and say, all I want you to do is put them on a Zoom call with me in the next 10 days. Choose 2 days. When can you do? And then they say, oh, okay, cool. Wednesday this week. Okay. And then next week I can do Thursday. Okay, cool. We have a webinar next Thursday. And Wednesday I'll do a Zoom for you. And all I want you to do is bring those 3 or 4 people that you have. And you do the presentation and you explain it for them as their sponsor. And if you're struggling and you haven't enrolled anyone yourself, go upline, find somebody who's at least recruited successfully and ask them for help. And they'll come in and they'll do a Zoom call for you, right? Or a meeting for you, whichever, or in person or on Zoom. So make sure you're leveraging your upline support as well. If you need help, guys, it's there. Renita, myself, Peter, Nikki, all of us, Alandra, many of us on this call here are leaders, and here to assist. So I hope that helps, guys. Also, get Paula's book if you haven't yet. There's so many gold nuggets, guys, in that book, and it's a small investment, right? You've got to invest in yourself to see returns in this type of business. And her book is a very small price to pay for the knowledge and the wisdom that you're going to gain from reading it. It's called Owning Yourself. Very, very, very good read, and highly, highly recommended. I'm going to also see if she can do a training for us live on Zoom at some point towards the end of this year or the beginning of next year, because she is a good friend of ours and very close friend of mine. So I'm going to see if she wouldn't mind doing like a nice 1 hour freaking masterclass for us at some point in the near future. And I'm sure she will. And when I get that, just make sure you're on with a lot of people, because she's brilliant. So I hope that helps, guys. Is there any other questions? We're almost at 6:30. Just want to see in the chat. Hold on. Nancy, regarding the 21 days, does this mean we should not sign anybody who's not interested in the business, wants to try the patches? No, you can sponsor anyone, Nancy. It just means that once you've sponsored them, be it a customer or somebody who wants to do the business, you've got 21 days to help them enroll someone. Okay. Otherwise, that person's more than likely going to just stay a customer or not build the business at all. That's what I'm saying. So if it's somebody who you enroll, even if they're a customer, guys, many customers will become business builders. And what I mean by that is your customers a lot of the time are people that do what? They talk about their results, right? Especially if they have an amazing result, you almost can't not become part of the business if you love the product, because naturally you're going to have people that go, oh, what are you using? Oh, I'm using X39. I have so much energy. Oh, where do I get that? Do you see what I mean? So you almost can't not build this business if you do it correctly, and you just tell them, look, if you love the product, share it with your friends and make some extra money. Who wouldn't want to make some extra money, right? They might not want to put in as much time and effort, sure, as somebody who's, really serious about going SPD, for example, and generating, multiple 6 figures a month. But they still might be able to bring in someone who is interested in the business. So just a quick story. One of the diamonds in the previous company I was a part of, his name's Craig Schultz. He was earning over $100,000 a month in his business from one line of sponsorship. That person that built that line, that it was an emerald. So in the plan, it's similar to someone in LifeWave at SPD, earning over $20,000 a month in passive income. That person that built that line for him came through a customer. So he had told somebody about the product. The person joined just as a customer, used the product, and then that person who was a customer was so impressed by the results of the product that they told someone about it, and that person that came in ended up building a massive line, a huge business. So even customers, guys, can find you business builders. Does that make sense? So treat everyone like a potential business builder, because customers can turn and will. For every 3 customers, you'll find one of them ends up becoming a brand partner and builds the business. It's just how it works. Just see here. Yeah, okay. I'm glad I answered your question, Nancy. Is there anyone else who has any other questions? Don't think so. Okay. Awesome stuff, guys. Well, I'm very happy that you understood the 21 days to detonation, and you know that the most important thing is when you enroll somebody to ensure that in that first 10 days you try to do 2 presentations for them to assist them to get their first enrollment. And if you do that, you know that that person is more than likely to be a long-term person in your business. And another tool that many of you do know about, but I just want to re-emphasize, guys, when you enroll someone new, there's 2 links that we use, right? This is at info and this is at team. I just put it in the chat box. This is at info, gives people information on what it is that we do, how the product works, the science behind the product, and it's a great link to send to somebody who's not, who's a prospect who you're sharing the information, who you're sharing LifeWave with, okay? This is a team is for somebody who you've introduced to the business, and now they need the information on how to get started and how to build a successful global distribution business. So if you yourself haven't gone through all those links, please do it, guys. It's just going to give you some great training. It's been put together by 7-figure earners in the industry in our upline, Steve and Gina Merritt, and that information is free. So take the time. Even if you spend half an hour or an hour a day, go through everything under there. It'll really help you. And when you enroll someone new, ensure that they also go through that information, okay? And then I'm just going to put the name of the 2 books here that I recommended. Owning Yourself by Paula Pritchard. And some of you have already read it, but if you haven't, GoPro by Eric Worre, okay? Those are 2 really good resources that I would add to this as a team in terms of getting yourself all of the information you need to get started. If anyone wants a GoPro book, I have a few hard copies left. Just message me, and I can get one to you. They shipped from the United States. I've got about 20 books left. Okay, very nice to have a hard copy with you, to go through and just to reflect and make notes and things. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for joining. We're going to have a webinar again this Thursday, 6 p.m. So ensure to promote that and invite people to the call on Thursday. And we're going to have another training again as well, Monday, same time, next week. So have a beautiful evening. Keep patching yourself and keep sharing the amazing testimonials. If you have anyone that is having amazing results or gets amazing results from the products, please share, guys. It's really important. It's just great to build belief when we keep sharing the results that we're getting and we're seeing people getting from using this incredible product. So lots of love, everyone. Have a beautiful evening.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Oliver. That was great.
Thanks. It was some good information.